Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to another edition of the American Hotspur. It's a Thursday night edition, and the reason why you're here is we actually have a few things that we need to talk about tonight, and I'm actually really excited about it. But what I will say is, I actually want to first by apologizing. Tonight's show was actually supposed to go off about an hour ago. Unfortunately, work ran a little late, so here we are at 7 o'clock Eastern. Instead of 6 o'clock. But I do want to thank all those that have tuned in. A quick reminder to hit those like and subscribe buttons because this show actually is starting to gain some traction. And I do want to send out some love and appreciation to those that have already subscribed. So definitely go ahead and make that sub, and let's get on with this one. All right, so a couple of things happened today in the world of Tottenham Hotspur that I think we should kind of go over. First one is going to be Xavi Simons because this thing is actually fast moving. And this afternoon, I got word that this thing is actually closer than meets the eye. Now, a little backstory here: that Spurs and Red Bull Leipzig actually have been talking over the course of the summer. It turns out that Xavi Simons is actually well on the high, well up on their list of targets. As a matter of fact, I heard that Xavi Simons is actually higher up than Eberiche Eze for Tottenham Hotspur. And it makes a lot of sense because he's actually the better player. But it was actually known that Chelsea, among other clubs, were actually the one that showed the most interest. But that being said, turns out that no formal talks have ever been held between Chelsea and Red Bull Leipzig outside of the courteous phone call just to find out exactly what the hell is going on. All right, so today, word came down with Xavi Simons that let's find out. Here we go. That Spurs have actually made an official bid of around 70 million euros for the services of Xavi Simons. By the way, can play 3 different positions, and of course we have openings at two of the most important positions on the diamond, not on the pitch. And of course, the biggest position being obviously center attacking mid, which is actually his position of choice. He can play both sides. He can play both sides of the wings. And of course, this is the type of flexibility that Thomas Frank absolutely loves to have. But that being said, he walks straight into the starting 11 as a center attacking midfielder, 100%. Now, there is an official contract offer for Xavi Simons. That means the club and the player, Spurs, have actually offered him a contract. Now, whether or not Spurs can convince him. But that being said, his representatives are in London. This thing is actually going to move incredibly quick, and I would not be surprised if the Dutch international would be wearing one of those black kits sooner rather than later. And it's interesting too because I actually saw there was a letter that was distributed. I believe it was by Daniel Levy talking about something about the winter transfer window. But that being said, from my source, it was that Spurs weren't going to actively pursue anybody between now and the end of the window. And the only thing that they would do is, be reactive. That means, in my estimate, that Red Bull Leipzig actually called them and wondered if they were still interested in potentially putting a deal for Xavi Simons. And of course, you're going to say yes. 100% you're going to say yes. And when you look at the context of how the season's already started, where the season's going to is heading, this makes a tremendous amount of sense to bring in a guy like Xavi Simons, who again is the center attacking mid, but he can play both of the wing positions, and you can deploy him in many different formations, and he's going to be able to carry the mail. So I'll tell you what, man, keep an eye out on this one. This actually feels far more real than Eberiche Eze. It feels far more real than Morgan Gibbs-White because it looks like the window is real. It looks like the Spurs right now have this open window to get this deal done, regardless of what Chelsea is looking for. Now, from the Chelsea standpoint, they actually sold Christopher Nkunku to AC Milan, which is actually a very good deal for AC Milan. He definitely fills a hole for the Rossoneri. But that being said, it was told by me that they're actually looking at FC Barcelona's Ferrin. They actually rate him higher than Xavi Simons. But that being said, it almost feels like they're keeping Xavi a little bit on a little bit of a back burner. So if something doesn't materialize with FC Barcelona, they might be able to pivot. So as of right now, this deal has to get done tonight. 100%. They cannot leave this to tomorrow. They cannot waste time on this because the one thing you don't want to do is allow a team like Chelsea to enter the fray. Because if that's the case, they can just outspend us. And I can tell you right now, Spurs will not get into a bidding war over Xavi Simons. So here's the thing: it feels like both clubs have agreed on a price, and now it is up to Johan Lang. It is up to Daniel Levy, and it's hopefully, hopefully it's Vinay, hopefully it's Paratici, hopefully they throw a full court press at Xavi and try to get him to commit, because now that you have Mohamed Kudus in the fray, now that you have João Paulinho in the fray, and you actually have a couple of actual legit names attached to this project, it actually lends itself some credibility here. And maybe they can use that as a selling point. And of course, we have the Champions League, which we're going to get into very shortly. So again, with Eberechi Eze, Spurs kind of let that get out of hand. Instead of wrapping up quickly and utilizing that window, they allowed time and space for Arsenal to move in and steal it. Learn from your lessons. Learn from that lesson, and do not allow anyone to step in and take this player away from you. You cannot have 3 failures in this summer window. Okay, fine. Morgan Gibbs-White just didn't work out. Eberechi Eze, you wasted too much time and allowed Arsenal to steal it. Learn from that lesson and get this thing done. Get this over the line tonight, and then make an announcement tomorrow after he's taken his medicals. That's it. That's all you have to do. And at the end of this window, if this ends up being it, and your big transfers coming, your big incomings are Kudus, João Paulinho, and now Xavi Simons, let me tell you, that's actually not a bad window. All things considered, that's not a bad window. And of course, when you add in, Vuskovic and Kota Takai and Matisse Tell, all that, yeah. I mean, it actually on paper, it kind of does look like a pretty solid window. Absolutely. Yeah, and again, this deal is to be said as being close to done. So that's the good news. And I'm trying to get the confirmation on the actual per week poundage that Spurs are offering Xavi Simons, because if it's anything in the ballpark of what they were willing to pay Eberechi Eze, I think it actually gets done 100%. And that was upwards of 175 pounds a week. But for a guy like Xavi Simons, for him to sign on the dotted line, you're going to have to go a little higher. Just all things considering. This is one of the players where you actually do break the 200,000 pound a week threshold. 100%. He's absolutely worth it. And this is the type of player you do it for. Like, when you're trying to move with intent, that's what this means. And it's something that Spurs have not done a lot of. All right, so let's get into this, because we have to talk about it today. Actually, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern time is when this came out. And of course, I was at work. I know it sucks, man. I was trying to get on as quick as possible, but shit happens, man. It just is what it is. The Champions League league phase draw has come out. And if you're Tottenham Hotspur, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. This is the best thing you could have hoped for, because let's be real. You have 24 points on the table, and 12 might get you into the knockout rounds. And when you look at this competition, outside of PSG, who scares you? Does Dortmund scare you? Sure, they're a good German club, but they're also a young club. Who scares you? Maybe Villarreal? Maybe? Like, this was a dream come true. Because, like when I was looking at the pots, and I'm looking at pot A and I'm looking at pot B, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm curious to find out exactly who from Pot A and who from Pot B we're going to get thrown into this into the mix here. And now I get to see it, and I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Like we're a shoo-in for the knockout rounds. Like I actually think we bypass the knockout round playoff stage, or the play-in stage, excuse me. I think we bypass it. Even if, like, for instance, let's just say that we split with Dortmund, and we lose twice to PSG, home and away, or away. Let's say we lose to both of those, but we also pick up wins against Villarreal. We draw against Villarreal, but we pick up wins against Frankfurt, Slavia Praha, Bodo Glimt, Copenhagen, and Monaco. We're in the knockout rounds, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And by the way, look at the home matches. Villarreal, Slavia Praha, and Copenhagen at home. And Frankfurt, Bodo, and Monaco on the road. We know how to win. We absolutely know how to win at Frankfurt, and we know how to win against Bodo Glimt there. We did it, and we hoisted a trophy because of it. AS Monaco, solid French team, but that being said, they're a French team, not named PSG. They don't have the firepower. And with the way that we're playing, by the way, the way that Thomas Frank has essentially transformed this team overnight into a very compact, very tough team to break down. Me personally, I actually think that I don't think there's going to be any fall off between home and away. I seriously don't. We have Nyrender Argawal. Good to meet you. Nyrender. I'm glad you're a part of this tonight. This is a great draw. Even if you don't come into the top 8, does not mean you can't progress. Look at PSG. Yeah. 100%. But look, I mean, seriously, look at this draw. Look at the draw. Who scares you? We stood toe to toe with PSG in the Super Cup. Granted, it was the Super Cup, and they were only on 6 days training. I understand, but we were the better team for 85 minutes on a neutral pitch. You don't think that this crew wants another run at PSG, especially there, to potentially upset PSG at the Parc des Princes? 100% they do. Dortmund might be tough, but that being said, we get them at home. This isn't at the big yellow wall in Dortmund. It's on our pitch, in front of our fans, in front of the South Stand. European nights, Champions League nights, at the Lane against Dortmund. You don't think that's gonna be rowdy? 100% that's going to be rowdy. Seriously, 12 points, half, will get you close. And if we can pull a win from somewhere else, 100%. 100% we advance to the knockout rounds. And for me, I think that's actually successful, to be honest with you. Considering our attacking 3, attacking 4, and the injuries that we've already sustained, the fact that we may or may not get Xavi Simons, this was music to my ears, because we can beat Frankfurt, we can beat Slavia Praha, we know we can beat Bodo Glimt, and we can probably beat Copenhagen. That's 12 right there. And all we need is to beat either Monaco or Villarreal at home, and we're in the knockout rounds. 100%. 100%. And there's the Dermatron right there. He said, good draw. In my opinion, oh yeah, this was the best draw possible, Derma. you know for a fact that we want PSG again. And to do it at the Parc des Princes would be sweet, right? Like I guarantee you, this crew was left with a bad taste in their mouth after what happened in the Super Cup, because they were the better team for 85 minutes, and they were that close to hoisting another trophy. They want that one back. And the home schedule, again, just between Eintracht Frankfurt, Slavia Praha, Bodo Glimt, and Copenhagen, that's 12 points right there. I know they still got to play, but let's be real. We're better. We are better than those 4 teams. And this isn't Pochettino in the Champions League where, sometimes they struggled. This is a Thomas Frank crew, and they show up ready to play week in and week out. It almost feels like they step on the pitch expecting to win, which for me is a very nice attitude to have. Let's see. For others watching, where in the U.S. world are you? I'm in Houston. Lived in London for 30 years before moving to Houston. Good, man. You're in Texas. I love Texas. Houston, though, I've never been to Houston. I will say, but I do love Dallas, Texas. And it's good that you're here, man. Hopefully, hopefully you're enjoying Houston and what brought you to the States, by the way. Currently, right now, I'm in Flint, Michigan, and I love it out here in the Midwest, in the Rust Belt. And I'm currently enjoying the local USL team out here too, as well as Major League Soccer and the U.S. men's national team. But of course, Tottenham Hotspur as well too, because they're my club. But yeah, I mean, this was music to my ears, man. When I saw this, dude, I was giddy. This is like, what's a good analogy? This is like a cute chick that wears baggy clothes, but when you finally get her alone and you kind of, peek up the shirt, turns out she's actually she's got something nice to look at underneath. That's what this reminds me of. 15 points, 13 to 15 points. Gets you into the knockout rounds. And like I said from the beginning, my expectations were very clear. If we can figure out a way to be anywhere between 5th and 8th in the table, the Premier League table, if we can finish anywhere between 5th and 8th with the squad that we have, if we can stay healthy and put a nice little run together while competing in the cup competitions, at least getting to Wembley in one of them, and advancing to the knockout rounds of the Champions League, that's a very good first year under Thomas Frank, because what that shows is consistency. And that's what this team has been missing for a very long time. Week to week consistency. And to be honest with you, I'm curious about what this team is going to look like on Saturday and Wednesday. I'm curious, man. Just out of curiosity, let me pull something up real quick. Let me pull up the schedule quick because I got to see something real quick. So the first, by the way, the first Champions League draw is going to be between the 15th and the 17th, which puts their first match between West Ham and Brighton. Yeah, man. That's I do not think that's going to be hard to handle. Which then would lead to what? Wolves on September 28th. And then you have another match sandwich between Wolves and Leeds United. Before you get to Aston Villa. I don't know, man. It's looking pretty good. So we have what? Bournemouth this Saturday, then we have our first international break. And then we get into the actual meat of the schedule. And I'm telling you, man, that like this, I don't think this is going to put a lot of stress on the boys. I do not think so at all. It's going to be interesting to find out when we travel to PSG and where that lands in between, the Premier League. That I would be very curious to see. But that being said, it's like this draw is the best for us because we are better than 6 of the 8 teams on the schedule. So Narinder Agarwal was offered a good job in Houston. Been to Troy, Michigan for a few times. Yeah, Troy's interesting. But that being said, man, I'm happy that you decided to come to the United States. I'm actually headed to London in February for the North London Derby, the second leg at the Lane. So this is my first opportunity to see the United Kingdom, and I'll be there for a full week. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. So, all right. Just out of curiosity, let me know what you guys think about this 8-game schedule, and truly let me know what you think are the wins and what are the losses. How do you see this stretch going when you actually add in the Premier League and when you add in the cup competitions, and because we're about to get into the big portion of the schedule. So let me know. Do you think Spurs can navigate this and actually get to the knockout rounds? Because I do. Let's see. Try and do the tech tour. I don't know what the tech tour is, but I will. But I will be at the. I'll be at the Lane, and then I was thinking about heading up to Wales. So we'll see. They take you into the ball. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're talking about the stadium tour. Yeah. I might. Although that being said, there could be a Friday meetup with Dermatron at the stadium. There could be a meetup with Dave Harris of the Irish Hotspur. Yeah, there's a few different things that are on the to-do list as far as content goes over there. So we'll see. So all right, as you guys know. Spurs 2 matches, 6 points, including a massive win at the Etihad. For me, that was the test. That was the early season test, because when you look at it all the way till November 1st, maybe Brighton kind of freaks you out a little bit, maybe Villa. But that being said, when you look at the schedule, and you see that it doesn't necessarily get tough until November. And then when you look at the Champions League opponents for the first 8, now all of a sudden, this has a different feel to it. This has a different feel. My gut is that we don't lose until maybe Villa, maybe Everton, because November 1st it starts with Chelsea, then United, then Arsenal, and then we also have Newcastle on deck, Forest, Liverpool. That's when it really starts getting. That's when it really starts getting difficult. But that being said, you factor in the cup competitions, like there's a good chance that Spurs build a nice comfortable lead, or a nice comfortable 20-point cushion before we hit November. And with the momentum and the fact that depending on the draw, when it comes to certain cup competitions, if we happen to get a heavy early in the competition, that also might benefit us as well too, because there's a good chance they might be rotating. It's an opportunity for us to, potentially pave the way for ourselves to actually give ourselves a nice, a nice smooth runway to potentially getting to Wembley in the League Cup, baby. But all of this to me signals that this is actually going to be a good year. All of this. Yeah. All of this. Now I feel confident. Which is, something that I was a little apprehensive. I'll be the first one to admit it. I was a little apprehensive. After Newcastle, after PSG, I was a little apprehensive. And all that changed at the Etihad because it was dominant, and we didn't let them get into the game. And it just makes me believe that not only will we handle our business against the Bournemouths of the world, but we're going to be a tough out for Liverpool. We'll be a tough out for Arsenal, for Newcastle. Sure, they might win. Sure. But it's not like we're going to roll over. We're going to make it earn. We're going to make them earn it. And to me, that's the type of Spurs that I want to see. That's the type of Spurs that I want to see. Win, lose, or draw. As long as that opponent leaves the pitch and says, "God damn it, that team was tough." That is not Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspur. For me, that is a very good sign of respect. And by the way, because players talk, and if that's the reputation, you're going to have players wanting to come and play. It's the unknown right now because it is Spurs. We got Warren Phelan. Good to see you, Warren. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button, my guy. Same with you, Nyrender. Let's see. Warren says lunchtime Friday in New Zealand. Where in New Zealand are you at, my guy? I'd love to know that. And by the way, it's good to have you along, and I hope everything is absolutely fantastic down there. I have yet to see New Zealand. It is on the bucket list. See, he says, "Good draw. Just need a few more. Just need a few more cattle." Yep. Took me a while to figure out what cattle meant, but now I understand. All right, so this was going to be a short little show, but to recap, again, Xavi Simons, that thing is close. It's really close. And right now, it is squarely on the shoulders of Johan Lang and Daniel Levy to get this deal across the line. Everything's, as far as the clubs are concerned, Red Bull Leipzig has, is okay with the offer. And now it is convincing Xavi Simons that, yes, this is the place where you should play your football for the next 5 years. And of course, he's got a Dutch international already on the team in Mikey van de Ven, and I'm sure that those guys are talking as well too. I think it would help. I don't think that's ever been talked about yet, right? The fact that, the comfortability about coming to London, right? Because again, right now you're playing in Germany. You're pretty close to the Netherlands, where you're from. So leaving for the national team is not a problem. But now you're coming to a country that speaks a different language. I'm sure he speaks English. But that being said, you got to get settled. But you also have a member of your national team currently playing on the team. That helps. That helps. And I'm wondering if Van de Ven is talking to him as a part of the "dude, you should come" phone call. I'd be curious. About that. But that being said, what they cannot do is make the same mistakes they did again with Eberechi Eze, which was take time or put themselves in a position where they fuck it up by trying to offer a player that they don't want and then all of a sudden they back away, which would allow Chelsea to not only see what Tottenham has been doing and the money that they offered, and now they can swoop in. They cannot afford to do that. This is literally just pay the money. That's it. Just pay the money and get this deal done. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about quickly too is because I've noticed that fans are still talking about Paqueta as a potential backup to Xavi Simons. If something should go wrong, that maybe they can pivot. And from what I heard, West Ham has already given us one of their better players. And from everything that I've been told, West Ham is not going to be in a position to sell Spurs Paqueta as well. Because you guys have to remember that West Ham is a bad team. They're a really bad team. And they still have to sell tickets, and they still have to appease their supporter base. And it's unfortunate, too, because I have West Ham as one of my teams going down this year. Like, I think they're bad. I think they're a bad side. I actually think Sunderland might be a better team, slightly better. But that being said, they're still, they still have to appease their supporters. And from everything that I heard, they're not going to sell us Paqueta on top of Kudus. I just don't see that happening. And my source is saying the exact same thing. But Spurs have yet to even contact him to find out if he's even available, because I think they just have a firm understanding that that's just not going to happen. Also, the other name was Lookman. And I don't think that's also a realistic possibility either. And of course, I know there are some fans that want Lookman. I think this is how this is going to play out is very simple. From everything that I've heard, Spurs are not going to actively pursue a player unless it falls into their lap. Meaning, i.e., a team is going to circle back and say, "Hey, man, are you still interested in so and so? Let's have a conversation, see if it gets us anywhere." And if that doesn't happen, they're more than willing to go into the season and try to shore this club up in the January transfer window. Because by then, we still possibly could be right in the thick of things when it comes to the league, when it comes to the Champions League, and who knows? Certain things might happen. Teams that thought maybe they might be contenders bow out early, and certain players just might be available. We'll see. But that being said, as of right now, it's Xavi Simons, and it doesn't look like there's anybody else on the back burner, which means that their focus should be on Xavi. That's it. And it's doable. It's gettable. He's gettable. The window is right now. 100%. All right. I do want to thank a couple people tonight. I want to thank Nyrander Agrawal for showing up today. I want to thank Dermatron, who made an appearance in the chat today. I appreciate it. And also Warren Phelan from New Zealand, man. Awesome. Who actually says, sorry, it's a Kiwi saying. It's all good, bud. I have nothing but respect and love for the Kiwis, man. All right. So tomorrow, we have the Spurs versus Bournemouth pre-match buildup that begins at 6 o'clock UK time, 1 o'clock Eastern here in the US. And of course, my guest on this pre-match buildup will be Soren Krebs. He's joining me for this one tomorrow, as we are going to talk a little bit about Xavi. Hopefully, we actually have an official signing. That would be the best case scenario. But we are going to talk a little bit about Xavi. We're going to talk a little bit about a little bit more in depth about the Champions League. We're going to talk a little bit about last week at the Etihad, because that plays into obviously Saturday's opponent, which is Bournemouth, who, by the way, Not bad, man. Not bad. They are currently sitting at 1-0-1. I think last week they let's see. Let me pull up their schedule real quick. Yeah, last week they beat Wolves. Prior to that, they got their asses handed to Liverpool. But that being said, they also exited the Carabao Cup in the second round to Brentford. That's fine. But that being said, good team. Last year, they actually kind of beat the shit out of us last year, if I'm being perfectly honest. I still remember that match at the Lane, and it was a disappointing loss. But that being said, they play well. They do the little things right. But that being said, we're better. We're a better side. And we're at home. And I heard that there's a potential protest going on. So we have all the incentive to move to 3-0. 3 wins on the bounce, 9 points. We have all the mojo. We have all the momentum right now. And this would be excellent to go to 9 points. It's going to put us in a position to really kind of make this new manager bounce even better. Because after this, it's what? West Ham there, Brighton there at the Amex. Then we get Wolves at home, and then we travel to Leeds before getting Villa at home. Sorry. Like, this has the potential to be something absolutely beautiful by the time November 1st hits. So as long as we continue to rotate and be and literally be very systematic about it, we're going to be able to keep certain players healthy, certain positions healthy, and I don't think we're going to even come close to sniffing the things that we've had over the last 2 years under Ange Postecoglou. This thing, like, this has just a weird, different feel to it. I'm not going to say we're going to win the Premier League. We're not going to go Leicester City, circa 2016. But can we win a cup? Fuck yeah, we can win a cup this year. Absolutely, we can win a cup. I'd like it to be the FA Cup, but whatever. All right, so that's happening tomorrow, 6 o'clock UK time with Soren Krebs on the pre-match build-up, and then on Saturday, of course, we have the Hotspur watch along, as we do every single Premier League Premier League match day. Maybe depending on if the schedule allows it, maybe for specific Champions League watch-alongs as well too. But as of right now, it is strictly for the Premier League portion of the schedule. Of course, we will have recaps on Thursday nights when it comes to the Champions League or midweek cup competitions. There will be a recap on Thursday nights. And of course, this Sunday on stateside footy, it is the Leagues Cup final, which is the tournament, international tournament played between Major League Soccer and Liga MX. We are now in the final as the Seattle Sounders will host Inter Miami. And of course, Inter Miami is the team with Leo Messi, Sergio Busquets, and Jordi Alba. So that is going down on Sunday. And let me pull this up just for all you UK fans out there. That's going to be at 10 o'clock UK time, Sunday night. And this thing is going to be an absolute banger. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So there's plenty of coverage this weekend between the American Hotspur and stateside footy, and I hope you guys tag along. Of course, next week on Monday, we do the Yanks Abroad show, which is a recap of U.S. men's national team players overseas. So that's on Monday at 6 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock UK time. And then we have USMNT on Tuesdays. So there's a lot of good, U.S. Content in the first part of the week, and of course Tottenham Hotspur at the back end of the week. So, man, let me tell you, man, this thing is really cooking here on Stateside Footy. So make sure you do hit that like and subscribe buttons because let me tell you, man, this thing is growing quick. And of course, once we get to 1,000 subs, man, it's going to allow us to bring on some really cool guests, man. I'm really looking forward to it. So I already have a few things lined up already. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope you guys enjoy your Thursday night. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock UK time. And hopefully I see you on Saturday for the Hotspur watch along, man, because it's fun, man. I love doing the watch alongs, and I also happen to love Tottenham Hotspur. So it's going to be great, man. You guys enjoy it. And again, I hope you guys have a great Friday. And I hope, more importantly, you have a great weekend. And I hope that we come away with a 3-0 win, back-to-back clean sheets. Back-to-back clean sheets to start the season, man. That's what I'm hoping. That would be absolutely beautiful. So you guys enjoy it. I will see you tomorrow. Take care of you guys and enjoy the night.